Good day, I am Adrian Atkinson and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, September 6, 2023. The Ministry of Transport is looking to expedite a refleeting of the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, with efforts underway to bring forward and potentially expand the purchase of 200 new buses. Portfolio Minister Darrell Vaz made the disclosure during this morning's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. Minister Vaz says he has met with his counterpart at the Finance Ministry to discuss modifying previously announced plans for the purchase of 100 new buses in the 2024-2025 fiscal year and another 100 in the fiscal year 2025-2026.
I'm confident that in a matter of weeks, we will be in a position to state categorically how we have revised these figures, what the new figures are, and the timelines for the arrival of new buses. It would be, shall I say, it would be premature for me to go into much more detail, but to say categorically that as Minister, I'm confident that the commuters and the public at large will be hearing some very good news in relation to the refleeting of the JUTC.
He revealed that these new buses will be compressed natural gas, CNG, and electric units as the government moves away from the diesel-fueled vehicles. Once these have been secured, the minister says it will allow for retiring a significant amount of the existing fleet, which are primary diesel-fueled buses. Minister Vaz made the announcement as he gave an update on the rollout of buses for the new school year. He revealed that the original target of rolling out 315 buses was not met due to about 70 extremely old rehabilitated units not being able to hold up as expected. 285 buses were available on Monday, and after rollout, 236 were operational, as some were affected by breakdowns related to fare machines and other mechanical defects. On Tuesday, 233 units rolled out, and up to 7 o'clock this morning, 265 buses were available. The rollout, which is done on a phased basis throughout the morning, began with 70 from the Portmore depot, 65 from Spanish Town and 60 from Rockfort depot. It's estimated that 25,000 passengers are being transported from Portmore and Spanish Town each, and about 15,000 from Rockfort.
Based on the reports that I've gotten and the feedback that I've gotten from commuters and others, that so far we have made a big improvement in this year's back to school. But there is much more improvement that can and will be done.
A pilot project to retrofit and install air conditioning units in 30 schools is to get underway soon. Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams made the disclosure during a visit to Hope Valley Experimental School on Monday. She says the initiative is important to reduce heat stress on students amid rising temperatures. The minister adds that greater use of solar energy in schools is being considered as part of the project. Schools at the early childhood, primary and secondary will be targeted. Minister Williams cautions that based on the level of retrofitting work that will be required to install these AC units, the project is likely to be a lengthy one. But she says the corrective measure will seek to improve the learning environment for students and staff as it addresses ventilation issues that have long existed in many schools. In the meantime, the Ministry of Education is reporting an increase in the number of students enrolled in the Sixth Form Pathways program for the 2023-2024 academic year. This was disclosed by Acting Chief Education Officer Dr. Casson Troop while speaking on a radio program on Tuesday. She says the data shows a massive jump from 14,000 to 24,000 plus students being retained in the secondary program of learning. This represents students in high schools as well as community colleges, teachers' colleges and private tertiary institutions. The Acting Chief Education Officer does, however, admit that there are challenges being experienced in Region 2, which covers St. Thomas, St. Mary and Portland. According to Dr. Troop, there are not a lot of tertiary institutions on that side of the island to accommodate the students. The ministry has been mapping the young people to institutions in Kingston, as well as retrofitting some institutions in the parishes and partnering with private schools to build out their facilities to accommodate students. The Sixth Form Pathways program allows students who complete grade 11 to pursue an additional 2-year course of study with alternative opportunities alongside the traditional Sixth Form curriculum. Under the program, students will be able to leave secondary education with a range of certifications. These include an occupational associate degree, certificate or diploma within an occupational discipline, an accredited CCCJ or UCJ associate degree, additional CSEC and City and Guilds subjects, and NVQJ and or Caribbean Vocational Qualifications CVQ levels 2 or 3. Farmers in St. Thomas, Portland and Westmoreland will soon be receiving water storage tanks to improve their operations. The tanks, which include features or drip irrigation, are among 350 being distributed by the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, at a cost of $10 million. Farmers in St. Elizabeth, St. James, St. Anne and more recently Trelawney have already benefited. During a recent ceremonial handover of 50 tanks to Trelawney farmers, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett said the initiative was part of government's long-term policy to bring more ordinary Jamaicans into the tourism value chain.
But we are helping out. And we are helping out the small and medium enterprises because you are the salt of the earth in tourism.
The TEF water tank project enables farmers to store water for use in times of low rainfall, allowing them to sustain and even expand their operations with the capacity to supply hotels and other tourist accommodations.
And I want you to know that fruits and vegetables constitute 350 billion Jamaican dollars of demand in tourism. You know that? And we have only been able to supply 20% of that. So you see how much more supply we can make. So the whole idea then is to build capacity and to enable the rain harvesting arrangements to be in good stead so that when there is drought or there difficulty, the farmers can still get a chance to produce the goods because we in tourism eat food.
And finally, government is moving to roll out a driver training short course for public passenger vehicle PPV operators soon. The initiative was announced by Prime Minister Andrew Holness in his budget debate on March 16. Transport Minister Darrell Valls provided the update at a recent Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services TODS workshop for drivers on finance and safety.
We have the template from Transport Authority, and now it is just for Ministry of Finance to advise in relation to the funding so we can formally announce the rollout of that initiative, which is very critical. It means that all drivers will have an opportunity to be retrained, whether or not they were trained before, and they will get an incentive to do so. And I think the incentive that was announced at the time was $25,000.
Minister Valls says more changes are coming regarding the issuing of licenses to PPV operators.
But more importantly, going forward, we won't need to do this again, because before you get a license to transport the public, you will have to undergo and get a certificate that you will take to the Island Traffic Authority in order for them to grant that license. So again, we are being proactive.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.